a disaster, an epic collapse, all time bad. So I'm going to start off on a positive note. Oregon baseball, don't lose sight of the fact this is a great season with a horrible ending. Oregon baseball got to the Super Regional for the second year in a row. That's never been done before. I think Mark Wazikowski has done a fantastic job with this program. I think he did something incomprehensibly bad from a game management standpoint on Sunday night in College Station. For those who missed the game, allow me to read the sequence. This was just the seventh inning went awry, shall we say. Oregon led 8-4 on the precipice of forcing a Game 3. Texas A&M was physically starting to fall apart. They had a reliever get hurt. Their best hitter got hurt, and Oregon still gave up double-digit runs. They gave up 13 runs a game in 2 matchups here. And I thought Texas A&M was a much better offense than anything Oregon had faced in the regionals. Should not have gone like this. Here's the 7th inning. Goodness, I cannot believe that this is a real sequence of events. So, it starts off with a lead. Oregon has an 8-4 lead. It starts off with a walk. Kent singles to right. Camarillo to third. Okay, first and third, nobody out. Not good. Give up 1, get out of the inning, 8-5, still good. Chestnut struck out looking. Great. Huge. Double play, get out of the inning. This could be good. Appel walked. Okay, so that's 2 walks. Keep track of that. LaViolette walked. That scored the first run. That's 3 walks in the inning. Gravovac struck out looking. Now there are 2 outs in the inning. Maybe he's going to work his way out of it. Schott walked. That's 2 runs that have scored on 1 hit. Burton hit by pitch. Sorrell walked. Those both scored runs. Tied the game. Then Jordan comes in relief. Walks the first guy. 9-8. Again, 1 hit to bat through the lineup and then some and score 5 runs. And then there was a grand slam and then the game was over. Oregon loses 15-9. So, tragically, Oregon's season is over. Great season, horrible ending. When I think about all-time Oregon sports collapses, this to me is third. Number 1, Oregon State 2022. Rival, big lead. You had a 3-possession lead in the 4th quarter against your rival. That's the worst. That is the worst collapse. I'm not saying worst overall loss. I'm saying worst blown lead. Second, you all know where I'm going with this one. TCU 2015 Alamo Bowl. 31-0 at the half. Still feels weird to say out loud. And now third is the 7th inning of Game 2 of the Super Regionals for Oregon Baseball 2024. It was that bad. And so Mark Wazikowski, again, is a good coach. I am not on this show calling for his job. I am coming on here saying he made a mistake. He made a bad mistake. He left Brock Moore out there after he had already walked but he walked the bases loaded. He walked in a run. Then he struck a guy out. You could debate whether he should have been there to try and strike that guy out in the first place, but he did. So then he got the second out. But that batter needed to be the last one that he could have faced. Because he was either going to reach or you were going to get out of the inning. When it was 8-6, Oregon suffered some injuries in the bullpen. Michael Friend got hurt coming down the stretch of the season, or maybe he might have been available. But somebody, you can't leave a guy out there. He had completely lost it. He hadn't just lost it. Once he walked in the second run, you got to go, nope, done. That was his 4th walk of the inning. He went on to walk 2 more and hit a batter. Like, there were 7 walks issued in the inning. 7 walks. Oh, I got a message from somebody that said, I haven't seen that even since a Little League game. I got to tell you, I was a Little League pitcher my entire Little League career. I didn't walk people like that. Just get up there and throw some freaking strikes. If they hit it, yeah, it's frustrating. Yeah, you got to be able to throw quality strikes. It's especially frustrating for me. Everydayers know this. I'm a big Seattle Mariners fan. Mariners have the best pitching staff in all of baseball. Their bullpen's always good. Their starting pitching is elite. They're fantastic. Their fundamental philosophy is to throw strikes and don't walk guys. So that's what I'm accustomed to as a baseball fan. And then that just absolute fiasco. I mean, Grinsell was walking guys. RJ Gordon had no command yesterday. Look, college baseball is crazy. It's not played at the same level as Major League Baseball, obviously. I think there's a pretty sizable gap there, even more so than some other college to pro sports, particularly in the pitching department. Oregon in the first game had a 6-3 lead. Oregon in the second game had a 7-2 lead. To lose both of those games, absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal. Brock Moore cruised through the first 2 innings. Cruised. He came in, Grinsell was okay. He battled, but he didn't have great command either. A wild pitch led to a run in that game. That was the other thing that kind of got overlooked because the 7th inning was such an abomination of a baseball inning from a pitching standpoint. Like, just throw a strike. I mean, the Texas A&M batters were traffic cones up there. 2 hits. 2 hits led to a 9-run inning. I've never seen anything like that before. 7 walks and a hit batter. I'm pretty sure those were the final numbers. It might have been more. It might have been. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. They just completely fell apart. And Brock Moore has thrown multiple innings of relief previously this year. He came out for the 5th, cooking. 6th, money. He threw 16 pitches in those innings. Pretty sure that was the number. It was like 16 pitch. He was cruising. Of course you send him back out there for the 7th. It's just like Logan Mercado in the regionals in the first game against San Diego. You just kept pitching well. You kept him out there. Of course you should. But then at some point, you need to have a succession plan. Brock Moore wasn't going to throw innings 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You got to have somebody in mind. You got to have somebody loose. And there was just nobody in the bullpen until there had been 4 walks in an inning and multiple runs had come around to score. And then there wasn't a change until the game was tied. That was horribly managed. It was horribly managed. And it was, unfortunately, reminiscent of that Alamo Bowl. I mean, Oregon couldn't snap the ball. And Oregon couldn't throw strikes on Sunday. So, a really disappointing end in all-time Oregon collapse. I don't know how else to see it. I cannot think of other Oregon athletics events in which they have blown leads that were that bad. I'd say football in 2022 is the worst, the one that stings the most. And by the way, some people might mention, what about the Washington games? They didn't have massive leads in those games. They should have been able to win one of those 3, but they didn't. But they were never up by 20 points. They weren't up 4 runs with 3 innings to go, and then they just let Texas A&M walk their way to a victory. That was really disappointing. It was disappointing, and the pitching that was so good in the regionals just fell apart. They just lost their command. Gordon and Grinsell. I didn't think they were going to be the same. I didn't think they were going to be as dominant. Didn't expect them to, but that was really, really discouraging. And it's, again, a really frustrating end to an outstanding season. They went 3-0 in the Santa Barbara Regional. They weren't supposed to come out of there, but they did. And I think this program's in a great place. It's really clear where they need to improve. They got to have a deeper lineup of bullpen arms. Because if you're Mark Wazikowski, goodness, I hope he thought about making a move at some point. But you have to imagine one of the reasons he didn't is he didn't feel good about the next arm coming in, who in his defense went walk, grand slam. So maybe there just weren't any rested arms out there. Clearly the depth was not good enough. Like I was saying at the beginning of this show for football, you got to have depth. And Oregon did not have the depth of arms in the bullpen. I was watching the Oregon State game. They had guys with sub-4 ERAs just cycling through. They were playing Kentucky on the road. They lost the game 3-2. So that's where they have to get better. But the Bats came alive. That was great to see. And it was a really fun season, just with a horrible ending. Here's a thought on LinkedIn Jobs. When you're hiring for your small business, you want to find quality candidates that are right for the role. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. LinkedIn isn't just a job board. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals that you can't find anywhere else, even those who aren't actively searching for a new job but might be open to the perfect role. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't even visit other leading job sites. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you're hiring in the wrong place. On LinkedIn, 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. Hire professionals like a professional on LinkedIn. Over 2.5 million small businesses use LinkedIn for hiring for good reason. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply.